And I also played against someone who did Black-White Angels and absolutely stomped me. And I was like, ooh, I want to do this. And this is like my favorite thing about when a new Magic set releases, is if it's at the end of a Magic set, I feel my brain being much more competitive. I want to win. I know the meta. I know the constraints. I'm trying to problem solve. But now that it's fresh and new, I'm much more like, oh, look at this cool toy. It killed me. Woo! Like the gate decks that are out there. Yeah, I see Dal Sooner mentioning the gate decks. Haven't tried those. Those have been really interesting to see. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to get some variety. Also, I incidentally have been playing a lot of control-ish decks, so I'm interested in doing some of the beatdowns. Excuse me. Been eating spicy food, so my nose is runny. Also, I have a deck that I think is literally broken. I'll be showing that on Monday, and I'm not even going to share with you what it is, because I know someone that is bringing it to the SCG Open. So I'm going to keep it hidden. But I mean, this deck I actually think is broken. I think that it is busted, stupid, broken good. And I can't wait to show it to you on Monday. So we're going to be doing some Magic today. I do have to leave in a little under 2 hours because I'm flying down to Los Angeles doing something this weekend that hopefully be able to share with you at some point in the future. But it requires my presence in the Los Angeleses. So we're doing a real quick stream. And, you know, not to be political, or I should say not to talk about politics too much. I really want this to be a politics-free area purely for the sake of having partitioning. In the same way that when I'm doing the stream, I'm just focusing on the stream and the game, and I'm not checking email, and I'm not, you know, doing other projects. When I'm doing those other projects, I'm completely ignoring all the stream-focused, work-focused stuff, right? I like having these breaks. And of course, when I'm resting, I want nothing to do with anything but my rest, right? But it is really weird with the government shutdown, the fact that I have a lot of flying coming in the next few months. And I'm just getting all these little automated email messages that are like, hey, typically you want to leave this far before your flight. Please allow additional time as there are increased restrictions and difficulties with TSA staff. And I'm just like, whoa, right? That is a avenue along which I was not expecting to interact with governmental decision-making. Whew! So the government is going to be open for the next 3 weeks, and I have a lot of flying in the next 3 weeks, so goodness gracious, holy shit, I'm relieved. But regardless, I'm going to be leaving here in 2 hours. I also just want to give a thanks to Ven Faith that just dropped 10 sub-gifts. Ven Faith gifted to Baggin Ha, Luna Edge, L-Train 300, Sum 111, Barald, E is 7 Onions 23, G1 Orgosp, Beard 94, Bus Fungi, Dancing Dandy. Welcome. Welcome. Let's make some Black-White Angels. I'm sorry, I have one last announcement, and I know a lot of you are here to watch some Magic. Forgive me. Forgive me. The Day-Night Festival is coming up. Not this weekend, not the weekend after that, but 2 weekends from then. February 9th and 10th. The idea of the Day-Night Festival is it's basically a community LAN party where we can get together and play a bunch of video games together in a fun, social way. If you're looking to meet people who have various gaming interests, right? Maybe you're looking for a Warframe group or an Overwatch group, something like this. Come to the Day-Night Festival. We're going to be doing 2 days. One is going to be a stream and community day, where I'm going to be streaming. Morniel's going to be doing an opening DJ set. Jolteon's going to be doing a closing one. I'm going to be streaming some Overwatch, some PUBG, 100-person in-houses where you're all welcome to join, subscriber or not, literally everyone. And doing some 10-man Dota 2. That's going to be a lot of fun. Community Day, we have some Dungeons and Dragons campaigns running. If you're interested in organizing or doing something, please let us know. You can go to day9.tv. And you can see the February the festival link up in the top right, and you can just click on it for more info. Or you can go to our Discord, discord.gg/day9tv. Ask a mod, ask other folks where to go if you're confused. People are really, really super helpful. Count Brenda Varg says, where will it be at? It'll be right here on Day9TV. And also on our Discord, discord.gg/day9tv. The Discord is really the centralizing piece. We have all these different chat channels. and different voice channels that you can go into. And we even have a bot that helps do automated matchmaking. And I strongly encourage any of you to come up with something a little weird that might only interest 4 to 6 people. That's the whole point of the festival. Is I come from a lot of grassroots gaming type things, going to arcades, going to live tournaments that had 14 people at them, stuff like this. And I love so much these types of experiences. And when I say weird things, like maybe you're looking for a couple of people to do a big Crusader Kings or Europa Universalis game. There's not a lot of huge events like that going on. There's just so much bigness happening in gaming. Come to our 1 million person event, or this has $50 million. And I think those are fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I love those. But the point of this is to, maybe do something weird. Yeah, Drunk Terran says, Armello tourney. Yeah, why not, right? It's going to be grand. Let me show you the cards that are interesting me right now. Let's play some goddamn Magic, shall we? Let me show you the cards that are interesting me right now. Oh god, I hope I actually have enough. There is a new one, the Seraph. No way, do I not own it? I don't own a single Seraph of the Scales. All right. I don't mind so much. Packs. I think I'll get the 45 packs, we think. Seems fine to me. Haunt of the High Tower. Alright. There's my alarm to remind you all about the Day-Night Festival. I'm so good. Do we see a Seraph of Scales yet? Come on. Come on. We get a vault, though. That's good. We'll open that in a quick second. And I really hate opening packs individually. So I literally am going to purchase 3 packs, 1 pack, 1 pack. So we can open an even 10. Perfect. I still think I whiffed on the Seraph of Scales. Let's open up our vaults, get our wild cards. Lovely. And let's go to our decks. This is an absolutely broken deck, but I will showcase that later. All right, we have enough for the Seraphs. God, not a single one. Am I actually gonna have to buy another set of packs? Maybe so. Maybe so. But let me show you the. Oops. What? Oh, whoops. I'm dumb. So this is a super efficient angel. Can you hear me? This is a super efficient angel. I mean, it's a 4/3 with flying for 4. It can get vigilance. It can get death touch. These seem like minor bonuses to me. In particular, the vigilance does actually seem more significant because it's a good opportunity to be able to swing and defend against aggro decks. But it's that Afterlife 2 where we get 2 more flyers that I just really like. There's also our good friend Lyra, is powerful angel. Ba-ba-ba-bam. We also have the Resplendent Angel, which I think I actually don't have enough of. Okay. Oh my god. Well. What's our progress? Save and exit. We're nowhere close. That's fine. Well, we should get some packs. We can get some M19 packs. I think 15 packs for 3K seems good. Somewhere in there. I have a ton of extra gems. Like, I was just slowly going up with gems when I was doing my Guilds of Ravnica drafts, which was just fantastic. Laugh, lift. Alright, soon enough I'm going to show you this. Valentine61, 500 bits says packs. Every time I see that volcanic dragon, I just, like, my heart leaps for a moment, because I'm like, oh no, not a Thundermaw Hellkite. Thundermaw Hellkite just ruined my life back in the day. Alright, decks. I have to open more packs for this deck. I actually don't mind. mind so less opening copious amounts of packs now that there's literally no repetition. It's so amazing. There's no more mythic rares in this one, other than, of course, the History of Benalia, which is just busto good. Okay, so, like, if I look at this core of cards, right, we have, like, a powerful turn 3 play. A powerful turn 3 play. This is great for just getting some tempo and some damage on the board. This is great if you play it early. This is great if you play it late. This is amazing. Seraph of the Scales, again, a very strong flying damager. And Lyra Dawnbringer, very strong flying damager. Also, the fact that there's lifelink on Lyra is just so ridiculously good. So some of the new ones that, the little support pieces, is it's just a lot of expected removal, like Cry of the Carnarium to deal with people that go wide. Notice it's -2/-2. Our Angels don't get hit, because they all have 3 or higher toughness. Our Knights get hit, but that's okay. This card's just so disgustingly good anyways. Moment of Craving, right? We just like put a few of these in there for the early defense. And since our curve's sort of starting at like since our curve's sort of starting up in the 3 and 4 range, with the History of Benalia and Resplendent Angel in particular leading into Seraph and Lyra, a lot of our cheap drops are more utility or removal stuff. So Arguel's Bloodfast. Arguel's Bloodfast. We have a pair of these in here in the main board, which is great. Pair in the main board, which is fantastic. And then, what are the other ones? Yes, Vraska's Contempt, which is just premium removal. Eldest Reborn. I don't think we want that many of these, but these are just, like, great to put in. There's my alarm to charge my phone. Perfect. Because I'm going on a plane. Son of Rem says, is the fact that Dawnbringer is just so good justify the 4 copies as a legendary? This is a great point. So, just as a rule of thumb, if you have legendary creatures, you typically want to run 3 of them. Like, if you absolutely want the shit out of them, you generally still run 3 of them. I'm putting in 4 because I just don't know what else to do. I just think the card is sufficiently good that I'm not going to be that torn up about it. It's one of these situations where if I have a Lyra Dawnbringer out, I'm not going to feel brokenhearted if I can't play another Lyra Dawnbringer because I'm already winning the game with the 1. This would be different than if I was running a... What's her name? Take Imara. Imara is a perfect example of a legendary that I really only want 3 of, because if I play an Imara on turn 2 and I have an Imara in hand, I'll be like, fuck, I can't play this second Imara on turn 3. I wish it was a different card. This is screwing up my curve. When I'm a slightly slower deck, again, if I play the Lyra, I'm not feeling like I'm missing out. Why is my camera so unfocused? There we go. If I have a second Lyra in hand, I don't really have that same feeling. I have the feeling of, I'm kicking ass right now, and if you kill it, I'll play another one. It's fine. So with a lot of the more expensive, juicy, punchy legendaries, I feel like the 4... is okay in that regard. For instance, if there's decks with 4 Niv Mizzets, because if you have 1 Niv Mizzet stick, you kind of close the game out, so the 4 increases the consistency of it. So I think that I would reframe it as general rule of thumb. You want about 3 of each legendary to avoid the duplication rules. You rarely want more than that, unless each of them is like a game ender, like a Teferi, like a Niv Mizzet, like a Lyra. So that's my logic. Holy shit, Ninja Ginger. Ninja Ginger just gifted 31 subs, and Ninja Ginger has now gifted 207. Ninja Ginger's generosity spreading the joy of the Knights. Oh my gosh, that's over $1,000 of subs you have gifted. Cheers to you, Ninja Ginger. You are now knighted, the ambassador in the community for Day 9 TV, Ninja Ginger. Ninja Ginger 8 gifted subs to Torben One Shot over Flodor, Kelda Dragon, Pelican, Veg Friend, Feral RS, Scumtanten, Pokesticks, Otendai, Lero 42, Elaxi, Mr. Snow 12, Tsulami, Chrono Knight, Ophir 36, Cannibal Andy, 289. That's a great name. Cannibal Andy. I still like Cannibal Andy, like kind of blending the L in there. Azura Metal, Viper X7, 111, Kung Pao Pao, Seismic Wave, Arancilla, Fisk, 0312, Psyblades, Van Rare Tika, Smalicht. Metro 667, Evil Emperor 66, J Bird, Amf9, and Hutchie 93. Give a thanks to your kind ambassador, Ninja. Oh my god, that's so good. 207 is 69 times 3 total subs. Don't know how I missed it. Glad it was pointed out to me. Okay, so Eldest Reborn is another nice turn 5 play after Lyra, because we'll typically be keeping them down to 0 or 1 creatures on the board. The other ones are Mortify, of course. Mortify. Do one of these. And I'm missing one. Oh, Consecrate and Consume. That's right. This is a really interesting card. Exile target card from a graveyard. Very flexible against Golgari. Very flexible against some other effects that are shuffling things from the graveyard in. You obviously saw the Thundermo Sultai deck that we were running earlier this week, where there's a lot of like target with a Golgari Fine Broker or use Fine to get frilled Mystics and things back out of the graveyard. This is a very good response to that. And of course, Arclight Phoenix is a good response to that. But also the Consume target player sacrifices a creature with greatest power among the creatures they control, and you gain that much life. This is actually really nice because we're seeing life gain, synergy using life gain and life gain, more life gain. Arguel's Bloodfast spends that life in order to draw us extra cards. It's very, very cute. So we have 35, which now means we need 25 land. Gee, I wonder what land we're going to be doing. So, where are they? So first of all, we have the Godless Shrine. And what's the other Orzhov land? I don't remember the name of it. What the heck is its name? There it is. Isolated Chapel. Oh, I don't have enough Isolated Chapels yet. Please, give them to me. Perfect. I thought I already crafted all of them. I guess I crafted all the Shockers. I'm amazed that I didn't already have enough Isolated Chapels. I mean, this is Dominaria, so... I also believe that this is one that does want to run 4 copies of the Guildgate. Okay, maybe not the Orzhov Guildgate, but this one. Where's the other enters the battlefield tapped? Forsaken Sanctuary. When you have this many double-doubles, I really think you do need additional things. Like, you really, really, really superlatively do. And then the rest are plains and swamps. I do think that there's room to arguably, like, cut an Isolated Chapel and put in a utility land like an Arch. I mean, like, this is probably what I want to do. Really like Arch of Vraska. Wick just says, any reason why not Gates besides the aesthetic? Yes. And it's something way more fiddly with my brain. Okay. We have, okay, so take the Forsaken... Oh, whoops, I accidentally took out the wrong one. Forsaken Sanctuary. I'd rather have a bunch of copies of one card than the situation I have with these gates, where I have 2 of this Orzhov Guildgate art and 3 of this Orzhov Guildgate art, so I could do like 2 and 2, but that would just hurt me. That hurts me so much. Oh my god. Now, why do I have 26 lands? Why? What am I doing wrong here? What the heck am I doing wrong? What, do I have an extra one that I do not? Oh, I feel the ruin in there. Oh, Jesus, get out. Okay. Woo! Woo! Black-White Angels. We'll see how much the Arch hurts us. We have an extraordinarily prohibitive mana demand for our deck. And I'm just going to be doing some best of ones. Let's do ranked and... Found it. What about Shalai, the Hexproof Angel? She's a lot weaker because we don't have green mana. So Shalai is very good at protection, throwing a board down and ensuring that it gets to stay alive. I'm willing to hang on to this. We have a way to draw a card after we kill a thing. Perfect. Yeah, so Shalai's really good at protecting stuff, keeping stuff that you have out alive. But this deck really wants each angel individually to be as threatening as possible. That's the very simple way to think of it. Do I Moment of Craving this now? It's more or less equivalent. We may as well. We could try to hold out and maybe get a Cry of the Carnarium. Anyone else not seeing the MTG overlay? Thank you very much, Paw Cakes. That's my bad. I'm a little behind today is basically it. This whole week has been like slow. So everything's running a little bit behind, and then I have this flight, so if you refresh, it should be working just fine now. This isn't enter tapped, so we can still do Cry of the Carnarium like this. Into exile they go. Streaming ending early for flight, yeah. I have a 6:30 flight. Shane Whirler doth land. So, I really think I need to play the Forsaken Sanctuary first. I am going to Mortify this, but I'm just going to wait a turn. The fact that this is instant speed is unbelievable. Do we just hard counter popular aggro decks? Yes. Extremely hard. Extremely, extremely hard. This deck is a bit expensive. It runs 16 mythics, which is kind of damn ridiculous. You got it, friend. We'll probably be going Consecrate Exile. Bit expensive, yeah. Let's go ahead and hit Tamio in the face. Feels good. Hitting. That's first strike damage. We go to regular combat damage. Air's tapped. Typhoid Rat says, are you going to do a video on the Deep Mind AI? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. You know, I actually am, like, mostly certain I'm going to just make a whole video. Make a live video analysis of it, just straight up. This is still off the top. Shock off the top. Do a Deep Mind Fun Day Monday. Wow, this is actually relevant. Oops, I accidentally just missed the easy Vraska's Contempt on our opponent's turn. I mean, I'm gonna do this now. So much life gain. Gotta keep nomming as fast as I can. Cheers. I mean, that felt dominant, didn't it? I mean, we were barely below 20 life in the worst case scenario. Aaron Tway asked, what am I eating? I'm eating some chicken, man. I'm eating some rosemary vinaigrette marinated chicken with jalapeno hot sauce. I'm going to lean towards my plains early following my Isolated Chapel, just because a lot of my 3-cost cards are double white. It doesn't particularly matter very much, because we're going to wind up with all the sources done. But, you know, this is just a thought in case, for whatever reason, I have to discard a card. I want to make sure that my white man is favored. Is that from Blue Apron, one of those services? No, just Trader Joe's. Vicious Conquistador. Okay, so we got some sort of piratey aggro deck. And, I mean, we have a pretty nuts draw in this position to be able to double Benalia. Xenix says, have you ever watched any of Code Bullet's AI videos on YouTube? I don't actually think I have. So Gutter Bones is a lot of damage, but Vicious Conquistador represents a sort of continuous influx of damage. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one out. This ping is painful, for sure. Now this is kind of interesting. I can just Mortify this right away, or I can play another History of Benalia. I think I just Mortify this now. Xcynic, tell me about who? What's the name of it again? Code Bullet. Tell me about Code Bullet. Seems fine. Okay. So I kind of like Seraph of Scales here. I'm not feeling unbelievable by any stretch of the imagination. Our opponent is... Oh, yes! Oh my god, yes! Holy shit. Sacrifice me. Oh, nice. Discard and refill. You got it. So I think I'm going to play this. I mean, we'll possibly take another 2 damage here, which I think I'm okay with. Maybe I'm not okay with. I mean, the obvious way we lose is sacrifice to ping me for 2, and then, like, burn. It's an Australian bloke who teaches AIs to play games. That's so cool. I'm really interested in looking that up. Let me go ahead and open it. Code Bullet. YouTube. Oh, interesting. So now I'm forced to block, huh? Wow, Judith is really sick. So we're gonna go to 2 here, and I don't really think there's that much we can do about it.
Hey, you.
Holy shit. I didn't mute my my Chrome. It just like comes in. Hey, you. Good. Great. It's fantastic. Hey, you. Scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry. That is just the most perfect draw we could have ever had. Going up to 5. And, dude, look at the power of the Seraph. Look at the power of it. Hey, you. Yeah, I think... Spawn of Mayhem. Okay. I think I just straight gobble this, right? We have a Knight with Vigilance on the ground, so that's pretty good. So we can just poke in the skies. We'll probably be forced to Cry of the Carnarium to clear everything out, but we're ahead on the board. Obviously, burn in the face hurts, but it's fine. Drunk Terrence says I'm alone in my office. It scared the shit out of me. Dude, you are telling me, my friend. Interesting. I think we just do this, leave up Mortify, and begin to ping. Wow. I think that we had a rough draw, and still managed to get there. This feels nice. Oh, man. Oh. Hey, you. Critter 38. 5,000 bits. Critter 38 getting frightened, huh? 5,000 bits and all of a sudden, hey, you. Alright, we absolutely mulligan this. These are great turn 3 plays that we're unable to cast, unless we draw double white. I actually feel better about this opening. It's still kind of rough, though. I'm just going to hang on to it, since we're not going first. We have an additional opportunity to draw. Yeah, I'm really interested in doing sort of review of the Alpha Star matches for StarCraft 2. I watched that entire thing, start to finish, never punished. Actually going to build the blocker first. I mentioned StarCraft once, and you no longer cast things, you build them. Totally fine. Totally fine. Seems good to me. No big deal. I'm so happy there's so much mono red. There's always a good bit of mono red, especially at the start of sets, just to punish all the people trying to experiment. I mean, this just makes me so happy to see this number of mono red folk out and about. Because this, I mean, all the decks have been constructing have just been stomping mono red decks. And I mean, this is the first day I've played Black-White Angels. I've played against Black-White Angels. I've seen some other streamers play Black-White Angels. This is amazing. Alright, nice. That's the correct one. So I actually do want to exile a card. Doesn't really matter. There's not really a lot of recursion effects. I really want to hit a land right here. That's, like, so good. Yeah. Alright, so it's difficult for me to imagine a way in which our opponent wins this turn unless it's Experimental Frenzy, like, Shock Lightning Bolt. Cool, we did it. Mana Screw often beats Mana Flood. This game's a good lesson for it. Not lesson, example. Let this be a lesson. Okay. Turn 1 play. This is why the Guild Gates, the fully tapped lands, actually don't feel so bad in this. Actually don't. Absolutely keeping this. This is a monster hand. I mean, the perfect turn 2 play. Spear, Spewer. Ah, yes. Okay, so it's another red aggro deck. I'm shocked. I'm a little behind today, in part because my sleep schedule has been kind of screwed. Not like I've been staying up super late, you know, and like ruining everything. Ooh, you know, I made a mistake. I should have played the Forsaken Sanctuary and not run out Arguel's Bloodfast. Maybe this is actually fine, because it can flip and I can regain life by sacking a Seraph of Scales. We're definitely going to get Light Up the Staged. Or Skewer the Critics, one of those two. Nice. Nice, really sick. Kind of weak. I think kind of weak. If our opponent discards a History of Benalia, we play the Forsaken Sanctuary. This is spending an entire card to make us discard. This feels sort of antithetical to the idea of mono red. Obviously, the History of Benalia goes. Anyways, yeah, I've been having a hard time sleeping since because I was in Denver over the weekend at a wedding, and I got almost no sleep. My body refused to sleep when I was sitting in the hotel. It was so terrible. And so when I got back, like, again, my body was just, like, screwed up. So I've just been, like, feeling really off. So it's like, Been playing a lot of Magic in little interstitial times throughout. Thing of beauty, huh? Oh. Wait. Hold on. Come back. This too, please. Thank you. I think I actually don't play the Resplendent Angel because it doesn't do anything here. I think I actually jam down the Forsaken Sanctuary to make sure that we can be more consistent with our plays. I think. Is it just me or is Sean really quiet? It might be that I'm really quiet. Ugh. It's a great draw. We're Vraska-ing that immediately, like 1000%. So I'm going to Vraska's Contempt here. Obviously, we can Moment of Craving as another option. Both of them provide us with 2 life, and I absolutely need to get rid of the Gutter Snipe immediately. However, the Moment of Craving permits me to have a little bit smoother of a future option. In the future, I'll be able to play a land, and then play the Moment of Craving, and I'll have 3 mana left open to Resplendent Angel. It does suck a little bit. Seems fine. If this sticks, we just crush. Seems good to me. Why was I talking about all this shit? I was talking about something. My brain is like, not all there. Oh, I remember, yeah. Because my sleep schedule's been screwed up and I've been feeling a little behind on stuff, you know, I've just been firing up, doing like 20, 30 minutes of Magic here, there, and I have faced so few red decks. So very, very, very few red decks. It's kind of interesting to see so many of them. We might just be outright dead. Nice. Got us. Nice opening and play by our opponent. Arguably, we could say shouldn't have done the Arguel's Bloodfast. Seems very good. Cry the Carnarium answers most of the stuff. Should save Vraska for wall. Maybe plausibly. That is a consideration. Bakan Batu. So Bakan Batu's point of saving the Vraska for the wall is that technically I left open the more mana efficient play of dropping like a Resplendent Angel and doing a Moment of Craving. Why Moment of Craving for 2 mana, leaving 2 mana open, when it's going to, in the future, screw up our mana curve? Because, I mean, the only way that we're going to win in the long run is if we, like, let an Angel stick and we start bashing in the face. Alternatively, we could make the argument, this red deck is going to run out of steam real quickly, so the only way that it can punch in enough damage is if it does have a Gutter Snipe and an Electrostatic Field stick for several turns. So we should save. So we should not care as much about being mana efficient. We should care about ensuring that we have answers to Electrostatic Field, which I think is a really interesting perspective, Bakan Batu. And I think that that might be something to consider experimenting. You know, let's just make that call. If we're up against mono-red aggro, we're going to be super cognizant of preserving answers for Electrostatic Field. Nadura says, do you know if this deck struggles against Turbo Fog? I think Turbo Fog is broken. I think everything struggles against Turbo Fog. I think Nexus of Fate is going to get banned, 100%. Nexus of Fate and Wilderness Reclamation is utterly degenerate. I mean, like, degenerate in the most ridiculous way. And by the way, for any of you who don't know this combo, Wilderness Reclamation says at your end step, untap all your land. Right? So, and I can't do anything, right? Ah, shit. I didn't hit it in time. Tino says Nexus isn't super broken. It's just absolutely miserable to play against. I actually think that now, with Wilderness Reclamation, I think it's broken. I think it actually is just is too strong. Way too strong. Let me give my argument as to why. Is this another Forsaken Sanctuary? Okay, so I do have my stop placed. Okay, let me interrupt what I'm saying about Turbo Fog, and then I'm going to make this point. If you drag out the Forsaken Sanctuary, drag it out, and then hit here to put a stop, the way the server reads it is it reads this was placed, there's no other viable actions to do, so I'll automatically pass through the turn. And even though it appears as though I have time to hit the stop, it will not go through because according to the server, at the time of me playing Forsaken Sanctuary, there was nothing preventing the server from going to the next turn. So don't make this mistake that I do. Watch the mistake. I'm going to drag the Forsaken Sanctuary out and hit the stop. And unless my opponent has an interrupting stop right here, often it'll just pass through your turn like this. So let me back up and talk about the Turbo Fog, right? So the idea is, imagine you have 4 land up. 4 land, okay? Imagine you have 4 land up. Because you played Wilderness Reclamation before, next turn comes, you have 4 land up. Wilderness Reclamation reads, at the start of your end step, untap all your lands. At the start of your end step, untap all your lands, okay? So if you have 4 lands, you can tap all 4 of them. Wilderness Reclamation untaps them, So the land untaps, so you can tap them all again. You now have 8 mana at your end step using only 4 lands, which is enough to cast a Nexus of Fate, which is enough to get your turn to go again. So you actually only need 5 or 6 land to be able to consistently...
I didn't live through hell to lose.
Shit. To be able to consistently cast Nexus of Fate again, 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 and again. I thought mana's lost between steps. It is Ven Faith, but it is not lost between resolves. It is lost between steps. It is not lost between resolves. The fact that this is up is actually going to completely screw us. Interesting. Okay, so because we are on the end step and we tap everything, Wilderness Reclamation untaps and we get all the mana back, we're still in the end step. We haven't changed steps. The mana still sticks. And for that reason, and I don't think there's been a lot of decks that have actually fully explored this yet. Because when I was running Wilderness Reclamation, I ran it as like a 1 of, a 2 of, or something like this. But if you run it as a 4 of, you can often get to the spot where, again, imagine you have 7 mana. Cast a Nexus of Fate, end of turn, everything untaps, cast a second Nexus of Fate, end your turn, you now have 2 turns coming up. Darren says, so Wilderness Reclamation can effectively double your mana for any instant speed effect? Yes.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
We're more than likely dead. Oh, wait, no. We're not dead yet. We're not dead yet. Okay, so now I'm actually starting to see the real advantage of Seraph of Scales, because this is a flying threat. Vivian Reed can absolutely just nuke our Seraph of Scales, but it has Afterlife too, so we get 2 more pingers to kill Vivian. VOM says, would changing Nexus of Fate to sorcery help a bit? In a very localized sense, if we're ignoring the entire universe, and it's just you and me talking VOM, I do think that Nexus of Fate would feel like a much more reasonable card were at sorcery speed, because there have been extra turn cards in the past and they've kind of sucked, because a lot of times those cards turn into draw 1 card, play 1 land, which is the same thing as Growth Spiral, which is not a broken card. There's very small circumstances in which you can actually exploit the extra turn effect. We're gonna fucking die! Okay, so the only way we win now is if we draw a Vraska's Contempt, period. So, whoopsie-doopsie. So technically, VOM, I do believe that Nexus of Fate would be a more fair card were at sorcery speed. Alright, we lose the entire game, right? Because they get +2/+2 and indestructible. We might be able to win just by slamming in the skies enough, but that seems unlikely to me. Seems very unlikely to me. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Yep. So plausibly, the only way we can win is if this happens. Vivian -8s. Okay.
You should see the look on your face.
And then we get a Lyra Dawnbringer down to keep life stealing back. This is a plausible way that we can win. It does look a bit rough and tricky, don't it? Exile effects still work as well. So let's see, if I play Lyra, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we can consume this. If we get double Cry of the Carnarium, we can also... Okay, now we die. I didn't realize I muted. Yeah, I mean, I think despite the fact that the ultimate was tossed down, our deck really looked like it had legs still to be able to win, because Consume makes an enemy sacrifice a creature, gets around indestructible. Moment of Craving and Vraska's Contempt and Cry of the Carnarium all get around indestructible. Eldest Reborn gets around indestructible. There's a lot of... Oh, shit. Ouch. Hit me. I'm just gonna go ahead and exile this. Nice. So Seraph is gonna help a good bit. Moment of Craving is gonna help a good bit. Hello. Fine by me. Look at that. That's effectively heal for 3. We just block each one for one. Okay. Now how do I want to play this one out? They didn't attack on this turn, and they have 2 damage in hand. I think we just play the History of Benalia and begin to become a wide boy. I think it's important to swing with 1. Chain Walker is a little annoying here, so that's why I'm swinging with 1, to make sure that we get a little bit of value. And now our opponent Swingo Dingoes. That's a very nice run out, huh? Yeah, so this is panning out okay. Kill the fat ones. Go down to 3. It's pretty gross draw. Yeah. The weird thing is that there's so stupidly much life gain in this deck that, like, even when we're getting low, I still feel totally fine. Save the moment to combat Trick the Chain Whirler. I understand the logic of that, but... then I would have been taking additional damage that I don't want to take. And weirdly now I'm like, yeah, I should totally fucking take some damage, man. That seems great. Nah, this is still probably correct. Holy shit, that's terrible news. Holy shit. Alright. Yikesy dikesy. Meow. There's so much meow. Ooh. So this is some of the more dead that I've felt in my life. I think we straight up be dead. Guess an exclamation mark deck doesn't do anything in this chat. Doesn't do anything. You can just click on the deck to look at the deck. So if your extension isn't working, you can just refresh. Go ahead and chuck this one back. Ooh, this is a nice one. Don't want that, want the land. Enter stat. There we go. This is nice. We get a lot of games against red. Can't win them all against red, but this deck feels really good against red. Dalsman says, how do you feel about hard aggro decks having access to so much gas? Aggro feels fair when they have a short clock to kill you in. This much gas makes them feel absurdly strong. My presumption is that by gas you mean lots of card draw and ways to continuously refill the hand. I think my short answer is I haven't seen anything with red that makes me feel surprised, concerned, any of that. I mean, like, I don't really have any concerns about any of the games that we lost. There's a lot of decisions we could have made, and I mean, this is a prime example of why I like don't have concerns. Don't want the Seraph scales out. History of Benalia is really good. I think I'll just take 4 here. Seems okay. I think I'll enter a tapped. Oodles says, Day 9, been out of MTG since around 6th edition, but thanks to your skilled and chilled content, I've been drawn back in on MTGA. Keep up the supreme content. Thank you for saying that. Thrilled to hear it. I think I will say that I will absolutely, happily remind everybody that consistently, when new sets come out, red decks have a spike of dominance. No matter what. Always. Every single time. Or if not mono red, some type of ultra fast decks. Some ultra aggressive deck. Because the thing is that there tends to be 2 types of walls in any card game meta. Consistently. There tends to be the I am going to kill you as fast as humanly possible deck. And there is, if this game goes on long enough, I have an unkillable combo / presence on the board type of thing. It's always one of these 2. I think I might be screwed because there's probably 2 burn spells in there. I really kind of want to target for this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and crack in the face like this. Our opponent needs precisely 2 burn spells to kill us. 2 rather expensive burn spells. We can Vraska's Contempt our own dude to survive, but we're going to wait a bit. We win next turn because the board's empty. We win next turn. So again, there's always 2 walls. The kill you as fast as I can deck. And we win. There's the kill you as fast as you can deck, and then there is the I'm unbeatably powerful once I get to this point deck. And what happens is, what people begin trying to do is they try to explore what they can do in between these 2 walls. Now, let's think about any deck that is not trying to kill you as fast as humanly possible. Any deck that's not trying to kill you as fast as humanly possible. It has some cool spiky play later in the game. It has maybe a cool way to gain a lot of card draw and get a very nice enchantment down later in the game. There's a lot of later effects. And so hyper aggro decks will kill the shit out of any of those that don't know how to defend until later. And so really, it's just, it's a really common pattern that has come up time and time again. When a new set comes out, people don't have a good sense of what type of defenses they'll need at which points in the game to get to later. And if you've seen in any of the card games I've streamed, whenever there's a new set, I can make terrible aggro decks. Terrible as in after 1 week, they have a 0% win rate. They're terrible aggro decks. But because they do anything at all early on, rips through people that have low defense. And so, I think of red decks just as a wall, right? And the question is never to me, is this prohibitive? because I know for a fact it will have some measure of prohibitiveness. By definition, just by a card game existing at all, a strategy game existing at all will always have a rush strategy, a win-fast strategy that forms the basis of, do you have enough defense? I'm asking you. Do you have enough defense up to stay on? And then we wind up with a secondary question that's much more of a spectrum. Our spectrum question is, to what degree are these rush strategies prohibitive? And that definitely takes some time to be able to bake out. By no means am I claiming red deck's fine, period. I'm just noting that this set has been available... Gosh, has it only been a week now? It's been available for 1 week. And so I'm just not that alarmed at certain aggressive moves. Because, I mean, I have enough experience to more or less know better. I just know better now. Oh, I really gotta stretch my back out. Dude, I was doing crunches this morning, and something twanged in my back. I'm so annoyed that something as basic as a crunch is hurting me. Ugh. Do I actually want to trade here? Fear Dragon says Sean's back hurts because he's carrying his team in this single-player game so hard. Oh, that's so good. I think I just go for it. Eliminate things on the board as much as I can. Born to Weep says, I feel like the one thing that's different this time, though, is that MTG Arena emphasized the best of one and the lack of sideboard means you either have to mainboard anti-aggro tools and pray for a good matchup. I mean, I'm gonna contend, kinda. I'm gonna hit you with a hard kinda. I kinda see the argument. I believe, well, first of all, in terms of ranked and competition, Wizards has already stated that they intend to shift towards best of 3 type thingies, which is great. Do I trade here? I think I actually trade here. To trade or not to trade? Maybe we don't. I have enough removal that I'm just going to keep our Angel up. I'll go ahead and do this. Yeah, Wizards already announced that they're shifting towards best of 3. Should have swung first. That's a great call. Theatric should have done that for sure. Heroic reinforcements. Really? Great, you got it. Alright, so we can slow the game down now. This is nice. But to finish answering that question, which is that I think best of 3 and best of 1 serve 2 different purposes. Best of 1, period, will always have that, oh, I didn't have the ability to construct my deck properly. Oh, you know. Always, 100%. 100% of the time. Every single time. Always, always, always. But it's that it's a different meta. Like, I mean, the best of 1 meta, it just winds up being different. Like, all of my best of 1 decks just have to have more aggro answers, because the meta is different in that sort of structure. So the meta winds up being a bit of a self-balancing component to that. And if you don't like that, totally fine, because best of 3 is coming up. And oh, I'm the best! Best of 3 is being implemented for such conditions. Oh, good old Tajik. kind of interesting. This is an interesting situation to be against. So these guys have to attack. So, and again, I think that, like, probably the most important thing underlying what my position is on this Born to Weep is that it's a big spectrum that needs big thought and consideration. So if I play this, this is the single sacrifice, so I should just run out the History of Benalia to build this board a little bit. You can also consecrate to exile a card from the graveyard, which I actually think that I will do. Because, I mean, like, for instance, if this deck is so powerful, you wind up with an increasing polarization where you either are the red deck, or you have a control deck with so much anti-aggro that every single time that you go up against somebody, it's pretty good. Every single time you go up against somebody at all. They are, by definition, either that aggro deck that you beat with all your anti-aggro tools, or they are another control deck that has a bunch of anti-aggro tools and you feel a little bit like a dunce. So I think we absolutely block this puppy. We're going to take some damage, but I don't know how much damage we're going to take. Feels something like this. One of the 4 damage ones is the one we block, right? I think I still have to use the consume. Oof, that kind of stinks. I think this lets us survive. So I think that's where I'd get concerned, is if, like, literally there was so many anti-aggro tools, but I don't think the meta is quite there yet. Could be an issue, though. Could be an issue. Great. So we no attack here. Heroic Reinforcements, I believe, just instantly kills us. Cute. Whoa! Ah! Oh, yikes. Well, that'll do it. These are all indestructible. I mean, that's pretty sick. I don't know what we do about this. So this is... Whew. So I think we gotta become the king of the chumps. Right now this is 4 and 4 and 4. This is 12 damage. And then this is another 16, 17, 18 damage. 18 damage minus 2 is 16. 16 plus 5, so that would set us to 1. We'd be very close to dead there. Alright, this is my decision. This is my life. I choose this. Alright, there is not a way to win at all. Alright. It's a pretty sweet deck. Ritual of Soot? I don't think so. I don't think so. I wanna play some. I wanna play some first. Kaya's Wrath would be, I think, pretty pretty anti-helpful in this matchup. Or in this deck, excuse me, in this matchup. I put so many stops now. Bloodfast main deck seems loose in best of one format. I want to play a little more and sort of see what we think of it. See ya. Is this where they counter? Our deck absolutely is a stronger deck in best of 3. 100%. I'm playing best of 1s just to get a feel for it. And by get a feel for it, I mean, if I have the deck as a best of 3 deck and I start jumping into best of 3s right away, we get the power back. God, my trains of thought fucking suck at sticking today. God. Anyways. When I say I want to get a feel for the deck, I do have a best of 3 sideboard for this, but before I jump into best of 3, I want to really feel out what the problems are in best of 1, what cards aren't helping. And the best way to do that is to win and lose very quickly, again and again and again and again, against a big old variety of decks. And feel really good about where we're at with them. I can always consume this. I'm just going to wait a little bit. I'm going to do some very simple climbing, some very simple swinging. Trains of thought not arriving at the station. God, you're telling me. I'm going to get my usual water-coffee combo duo. I think I'm not drinking enough water lately. That's another thing hurting me. Come back. Oh, nice. Great. Choose blockers, no blockers. No blockers, no blockers, no blockers, no blockers, no blockers, no blockers. Are there blockers? No, no blockers, no blockers. I wonder if Ethereal Absolution might have a place here. It's neat as hell, says Born to Weep. First of all, cards that are neat as hell are absolutely my shit. Times 100 billion billion. Please, sacrifice the creature you have with the greatest power. I'd be thrilled. Pretty sick, huh? Don't you love it when all of a sudden Resplendent Angel just triggers? And you're like, when was that supposed to trigger? Right now, my friends, right now. Bye. You got it, man. Buff him up. Buff away. We have 7 in the skies and another Vraska's Contempt to remove whatever's up there in the air, like you just don't care. Great. Yeah, Ethereal Absolution is just so sick, man. We're losing and dying before we get to 6 mana. Arch of Vraska is clearly turning out to be absolutely irrelevant. Yeah, that's a good one. We got a bunch of removal. Such a bomb in limited format. Ravnica Allegiance Limited does not make any sense to me. It is the most difficult to wrap my head around set format I have ever played. I mean, oh my god. Have we seen an Arch of Vraska today yet? Asked our daddy. We've had it a few times. But, like, never, ever have we ever been in a position where I'm like, oh, gee, I have no cards. I better use my Arch. I mean, like, not even frickin' remotely close. Oh, it's a Jeskai deck. Shit. God. No. No. Well. I mean, I don't really know. Like, because, okay, here's what I mean by how do we stop problems in this matchup? By sideboarding better. What is our sideboard plan? Hey. Probably Ixalan's Binding. Probably Duress. In response, I kill you. Does Mortify only kill creatures? Yeah. Gobble, 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 gobble.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Sure hope we get some of those angels in this angel deck. I kind of do not like these guild gates. Do I want to keep this? This is a good draw for us. This is a very good draw for us. It could be there's a possible quench. You've seen the DeepMind SC2 presentation? Yeah, you know what? I've just decided next week I am going to do a full analysis of what I feel are the interesting components to DeepMind. It is at the intersection of two of my main interests, real-time strategy and in Odyssean. Get out of here. StarCraft strategy and
for my excellent timing. You know what? I'm not done yet.
And machine learning. Yeah. Do we think One Immortal Sun is good in this deck? I really don't think so. I really super don't. We're much more interested in bringing the noise early. Now, when do I do this timing? So I go to combat. I attack like this, right? A Seal Away comes down now, right? And because we didn't buff this, we now know that they don't have enough mana to counter. So then we can submit. Yeah, that's right. Basically, I want to make I would ideally prefer to do the lifelink. So I swing first, see if our opponent uses Seal Away. What our opponent should do is wait until the blocker's phase to use Seal Away, because then in blockers, I'm forced to use the buff on Resplendent Angel. Because our opponent did this too soon, this gives us the opportunity to not spend the mana on the buff and spend the mana on the Vraskas. Deep Mind is the name of the company. I got a lot of research and reading to do. Go ahead and do this at the end. I feel like I was too slow to win this game. Yeah. Like these moments of cravings, every moment of craving would get cut, replaced with a duress. I would have preferred something like a Chemister's Insight, but the fact that no Chemister's Insight was played, that lets us know that Iraq Veteran 1149 is in a rough spot. Lysozyme says, hey, did I not resub? Can you tell us a joke? God, that's so inappropriate. I can't say that one. That's really crude. Wow, my brain's like... my brain... I really gotta... Tell me a joke is so hard. I hate doing that prepared stuff. End step, try to blow up the enchantment. No counterspell. Ooh, baby. Alright, so you'll see I waited for blockers to do this. Good. This would lead me to believe that there's one or more Deafening Clarions in Iraq Veteran's hand. I expect to see 2 here. Potato, potato. God, what's a really... Here's one that my grandfather really liked, because my grandfather was unbelievably important to me as a person. Because I grew up in a single-parent household with my mom, and my grandpa really filled that father figure role. This is great joke. Stupid joke. It's really great. So there's 3 engineers, and these 3 engineers are having a discussion about who could have possibly made the human body. The first one says, well, the body had to have been made by a mechanical engineer, because only a mechanical engineer could figure out the complex structure of the bones and the muscles. And the second one says, no, you're totally wrong. It had to have been an electrical engineer, because only an electrical engineer could have figured out all the complex wiring for the nervous system. Third one says you're both wrong. The human body was made by a civil engineer, because only a civil engineer would put a waistline through a recreational area. Bam. It's a great joke. It's great. It's the right amount of eye roll. The right amount of slightly crude poopy. Father jokes. Okay. Oh. He sits like he just got done dropping some sick bars. He does it just like he finished some skateboard video. Boom, boom, bam. Boom, bam, bow. I love hot coffee. Cold water. Hot coffee, cold water. Hot coffee, cold water. So we got Flowers, Vias, Viqueth, everyone joining in. Oh, Flowers, I love that joke. Why did the blind man fall down the well? Because he didn't see that well. that's a good stupid one. My favorite stupid pun is what's blue and not heavy? Light blue. I mean, that one is, like, profoundly stupid. That might be my favorite joke. Oh, yeah. Oh, it feels good. Ah, Seraph Scale's coming out. Oh! I miss my grandpa a lot. Just a wonderful man that laughed about everything. Who would also get very cranky sometimes. I connect to him very much. All around fantastic human.
I know my responsibility. No time for a...
I got another stupid joke for you, okay? You want another stupid joke? Alright. You want stupid? I'll give you stupid. So there's a sheep farmer who says, who wants to hire some people to help build some fencing around his sheep. And the sheep farmer gets 3 bids from an engineer, a physicist, and a mathematician. So that way, he can find out what the lowest price is and go with that. So the engineer says, alright, well, the smallest shape that minimizes the surface area while maximizing the internal area is a circle. So I'm going to build you a circular fence around your sheep as quickly as we can. That will minimize the cost of fencing. Physicist says, well, what I'm going to do is, of course, the circle is the best shape for the sheep. But what I'm going to do is create a circle of infinite radius. And I'm going to continuously shrink it down around the sheep until there's literally no more space. And the mathematician makes a small fence around his own feet and says, I define myself to be on the outside of the circle. That's pretty fucking good! If any of you ever took any of those classes, it's great. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, objectively, the best part of that entire joke sell the wreckage! We are killing Teferis left and right. The best part of that joke is actually the physicist one of the circle of infinite radius shrinking down. Oh my god, the man of the hour, Sacriel's here. What is up? This is my favorite joke I heard you say. Oh, yeah. Hey, baby, did you just extractor trick? Because you're an 11 out of 10. So good. So hot. Oh my gosh, so hot. Alright. I think I'm just gonna exile one of these puppies. Doesn't really matter that much, but I'll get rid of the Niv. Boop. Exile. What about Dota 2 Auto Chess? You want to play that day 9? I'm actually planning on setting aside, not this weekend, but February the 2nd, Saturday. Because I feel like it's... I still think that the greatest decision I have made... Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, you got it, man. It resolves. The greatest decision I've made for myself personally and professionally in the last few years regarding games is the day 9's day off, where I was playing a different game every Friday. I've slacked up on that more recently just because, you know, I have some games that I actually really like playing that I've been playing regularly. But, by the way, new computers very likely going to get built over the weekend and installed Monday, so I'm going to try to be doing Subnautica super soon. But, you know, one of the things that I thought that was really helpful for, in terms of my learning, was I get to see all these different games and their mechanics and really understand what it is about them that maybe I didn't understand when I played, or when I first glanced at them. And there's a lot of games like that when I first played, I was like, I don't like this and I don't get this. Notable examples, Dark Souls and Stardew Valley. Like, Stardew Valley, the first 90 minutes I was playing it, I was like, this is actually not that fun. Why do people play this? And then all of a sudden it was like 11:30 p.m. And I, like, literally can't stop playing it, stop thinking about it. It's just amazing. Fort to Fairies, huh? Gone through 3 of them, right? 1, just 2 of them? No, yeah, 1 for 3 of them. And so, like, with some of the big ones that I've done in the last few years, Dota 2. Never played a MOBA super seriously. It was like, I'm going to learn this one.
Let's skip to the good part.
Really great, really great. I've always kind of loved simulation building games, notably Banished, I really liked. Played a ton of those in the last 2 years. Loved that experience, just sort of learning more about those and developing a bigger joy for those. Now that's one of my favorite genres. I love any sort of... Even if the game's terrible. Like, simulation games to me are kind of like zombie movies. Like, you can give me a B zombie movie, and I will adore it. Oh my god, my back is really tightening up. Shit. Good luck to me. I might just concede, because this game is taking forever. And so, with Dota 2 auto chess becoming a thing, I'm just going to concede. I just really don't want to play it. And it's best of 1, so I'm not too torn up about it. I mean, we hit Mythic, so we feel fine about ourselves as a player. But anyways, so Dota 2 Auto Chess is one of these things that is a new weird format. And that's something that fascinates me, because you'll note that there's a couple of multiplayer formats that have been very significant throughout the years. In shooters, offense, defense. Very significant. Very significant form. You know, there's a thing in multiplayer gaming that I call the engine, or the skeleton of a multiplayer game. Which is, like, what are the parts that make this game have basic interaction at all? It's the part that 99% of average bears who are just playing the game don't think about, because every game that has any player base has these qualities, right? Like, how the hell do you get these two people to come together and fight instead of sitting and camping and turtling? Oh, you have offense, defense. One team is supposed to camp, and the other team is supposed to break it. Oh, cool, we have asymmetric goals that, most importantly, just literally bring us together. So there's a couple of these new formats. The rise of MOBAs, right? Oh, what brings players together? Oh, it's kind of roundabout, but it's still very forceful of a... Do I have a way to kill that thing? Do I? I don't. It's still quite forceful of an effect. The lanes. Come to the lanes. Come to the lanes, right? The lanes bring two people together, right? Bring two people together. And here's a really interesting fact, especially for my work on RTS games. if you have a game where things are fixed and even, like Rocket League, I always have the same capacity at all points in the game. Yes, your boost can go up and down, but it's not like my car gets faster over the course of the game. When you have a strategy game where stuff is changing and evolving and growing, it is very hard to make sure that the game doesn't grind to a halt. For instance, if you have something like StarCraft actually has this problem very, very clearly and difficult to avoid. In StarCraft, sometimes I get so much shit and I'm so powerful that I should stop attacking and just constrict you and choke you out, and that's it. And so you have this peak of action and then just a long, dragging moment where somebody just has to sit there and just let things suck. Now, at the super high levels, there's a super high level analysis about, you know, how do you get your way out of that and what are some moves you can do. I'm talking about just like really basic fundamental. I'm someone who's playing Counter-Strike who has no fucking clue what I'm doing. Oh, it's my job to go attack. By the way, this is the degenerate combo I was talking about. This is the degenerate combo I was talking about, right? Wilderness Reclamation untaps all the land at the end of the turn, but it's still your turn, even though we have hit the end phase. And then you immediately respend that mana on Nexus of Fate. Let's see what our opponent does. Oh, cool! It's Day Spring against Day 9. Oh, thing of beauty. So notice you can tap. Watch this mana. You tap. This resolves. The mana stays because we have stepped through resolutions. We have not stepped through phases. So we've resolved through a Wilderness Reclamation. So our opponent, she can now main phase, or not main phase, but she can like spend all this mana and then tap these, has 2 mana left over. Wilderness Reclamation untaps. So now there's actually a lot more mana available than was originally expected. Right? Really sick. Anyways, when you have a game that has like cumulative power growth, it's very easy for things to grind to a halt. Unless you're at the very highest levels where people know how to pierce through. So it's like that bottom 95% of players that can get into standstills. So what's interesting to me about Battle Chess is it incorporates an element of no control. Every round, you are going to fight against neutrals, or your troops are going to fight against theirs, and they're automatically controlled. They're automatically controlled. Just going to run it all out. I don't even think there's counters in this deck. We're super dead. We are pretty dead here. Root Snare. Incredible. And so I think that you know, there is, if you try to ask yourself the question, what is it that brings me and my opponent together to actually fight in a game? The answer that Battle Chess proposes is you make the decisions before the combat, but the combat forcibly happens no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about that. So there is a mechanism outside of your control forcing you into the fight. And people psychologically do need that momentum of bringing each other together, or a mechanism bringing people together. So I don't think this deck actually runs a Teferi. I believe that it literally just runs a Nexus of Fate. By the way, note that our opponent still has about 20 mana available. 15, 20. This was interesting. Now that Wilderness Reclamation exists, you don't need Teferi as a win condition. You don't need it as win. You no longer need it as a win condition. This is. I really think that Nexus of Fate and/or Wilderness Reclamation are candidates for ban, just because I think that this is far, far, far too degenerate. That was weird. Oh wait, they have an extra turn after this. Herba-de-burr, I'm a dumb dur. Yeah, people in multiplayer games, they need something that really helps drive interaction to happen. And it doesn't actually have to be combat, direct punching, shooting stuff, you know, like in control versus control matchups in Magic the Gathering, for instance, just seeing what mana they're playing, what lands they're leaving up, what draw spells they're playing, helps me develop a plan that I'm responding to as well. Super degenerate, and actually very easy to get to. Now let's note this dude's gonna mill himself. There's cards that shuffle your library back into your graveyard. Shuffle your graveyard back into your library. I want to stress, on turn 2 we played Bloodfast, turn 3 we played Resplendent Angel, turn 4 we played Seraph of the Scales, turn 5 we played Seraph of the Scales. We've curved out. Nexus itself shuffles back in. Though that's true, it does not count as an anti-mill mechanism, because if I'm taking an extra turn, then I'm drawing once a turn. And so Nexus allows you to redraw itself, but again, if you're taking an extra turn and drawing again, it sort of cancels itself out. This is ridiculous. I really think it's too strong. Because it's so easy to ramp up to this. So easy. Because again, if you play Wilderness Reclamation with 4 mana... Yep, here it is. Here it is. This is the degenerate combo. I think it's still amazing in best of 3 because you can actually play more threats. And if you have 5 mana, you can tap all 5. Wilderness Reclamation untaps it. You have 10 mana. You can Nexus of Fate, still have 3 mana open to Growth Spiral, get an extra land out. Then it's your next turn again. You can Chemister's Insight to draw. Now that you have 6-7 mana out, cast it. All the land untaps at the end of your turn, so you can cast another draw. Look at this. Isn't this busted? We're dead? Yeah. This is an unwinnable position because our opponent has 3 turns to swing with Hydroid Krasis, and we don't have any blocks. Now, I want to stress something. We might have more opportunities to do stuff due to sideboarding, but let's just think about this. I have had 5 turns. I have had 5 turns. I needed to draw something in those first 5 turns that would have some combination of answers to Wilderness Reclamation and Nexus of Fate. You know what's really dangerous about Wilderness Reclamation? Amplifies the shit out of card draw. I can cast a Chemister's Insight on my main phase. Wilderness Reclamation untaps everything, and then I can recast Chemister's Insight again. So, I mean, there's extreme statements, like, yeah, if I just run a bunch of Unmoored Egos, but you would be forced to run Unmoored Ego in your first 4 or 5 turns. So you Wilderness, and then this happens. I mean, the thing that's also particularly sick is that if you're running 4 of these and 4 Growth Spirals, you can put an extra land out and get Wilderness Reclamation on turn 3. Transcend says the answers at Wilderness Reclamation should be legendary. It could plausibly be legendary, but I mean, really just 1 Wilderness Reclamation does it. Just 1. How many cards does he have in his deck? He has 9. Xanny says, I know there's an insane amount of card combinations in MTG, but how did I not see this coming? He has a lot of turns coming up. Or she does. Can't remember which one I picked at the start of this. Pretty incredible, huh? And I mean, like, as far as I'm concerned, that deck is still unfucking believable in best of 3. Because the thing that's interesting about Turbo Fog compared to this is that Turbo Fog spends so many card slots for fog effects. So many. Yeah, I'll hang on to this. There's so many cards that are fog effects. And in Turbo Fog, there's no counter spells. And so you wind up with a lot of trickiness. You also wind up with a lot of weak board answers. That one, because Wilderness Reclamation lets you accelerate with mana so fast, Wilderness Reclamation and Growth Spile, you accelerate up so quickly that you don't even really need that many fog effects. And you don't even really need a lot of defensive cards because you get to infinite turns damn fast. Okay. Well, this is a bit of a pickle. This is a bit of a pickle. We do have our Vraskas, which is very nice. Let's go ahead and just begin jamming down some presence on the board. I think I'll probably Vraskas one of these two. Yeah, I just think that, like, it's so strong. About 4 Ixalons and 4 Unmoored. Sounds about right, Cheeseburglar. I do think it's one of those things that, from my... I mean, I'm not an unbelievable Magic player, but, you know, I think I'm above average. It could just be the fact that I'm not a super strong player, that, you know, some god legend can just look and go, oh yeah, no, this is clearly how to beat it. Oh, by the way, Dynanat says, what does fog mean? Fog is a term for prevent all combat damage. We're almost there, by the way. We're going to do this and hope that our opponent trades off. Beautiful. Unless this is card draw, we win. Great. Nice. Absolute perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, so Fog says prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. And so there's a lot of different cards that say that. Some are cheaper, some are more expensive, some do multiple things, like when this creature enters the battlefield, prevent all combat damage that would be done this turn. So people will say, oh, okay, this is a creature with a fog effect. So we either win it or lose it here? Yeah? Okay, okay. Eep, eep, array. Healing! Alright, let's go to the next phase. Go ahead and play Seraph of Scales. We have Moment of Craving up, and we're in Grand Old Day. Got it, friend. I mean, we're just gonna get an instant concession right here. Got him. So, I mean, I know I've been complaining a lot about Nexus of Fate Wilderness Reclamation. I only learned about this recently when I had someone absolutely dunk on me. We also got the chance to see it here on air. It could very well be that it's just not overpowered. It's a wall. In any strategy game, there, again, are these wall strategies, right, that sort of form the box. You know, like, in the last set, I would say things like, how do I deal with Jeskai control? How do I deal with red aggro? How do I deal with a white deck going wide with aggro? Also similar to that, Selesnya. And how do I deal with Golgari mid-range, right? Just strong, punishing creatures that continue to come down, right? There's things like this that kind of help create a shape of the problem set. So that's why part of me was like really proud that I homebrewed an eye deck that hit Legend. I was like, hell yeah, right? This is my creation. This is my baby. Thing of beauty, huh? Play this. Chunk block with a 2/2. Force our opponent to sacrifice it with a consume and heal 3. So great. So there's always these types of walls. It could be that this Nexus of Fate deck is just another one of those walls. It's a deck that's not overpowered, but you just have to think about how you want to answer it in a Bo1. Alright, so we're going to get another knight. Alright, so I feel like this is... feels pretty clear to me, right? We force our opponent to sacrifice the Chain Whirler. We go to 17. We can, you know, deal with the Runaway Steamkin. Totally fine. Tino says, I tend to answer it in best of ones by hitting that concede button. It's a strong button in BO1s. Yeah. You got it, my friend. I wish this one wasn't played, because this would be a good Eldest Reborn target. Seraph of the Scales. Just a nice little blocker, you know? Also nice to have the Death Touch up for blocking. That's pretty nice. What's the ban on KCI? What's KCI again? Twisted 51? Uh-huh. You got it. Perfect. Now I have two Chumpa-Rumparoos. I don't know why our opponent spent this mana. I mean, it makes me feel like... Whoa, our opponent just accidentally made our dude small. Wish this was just a pinch smaller, huh? You could draw a Moment of Craving. That'd be nice. That's just really good. Now, if I play this now, I feel like I want to play this. No, I gotta do this. I have to. Thing of beauty. Oopsie doopsie. Could have done that in the opposite order. I just really want to show my angel, like, don't fuck around with me, friend. I will absolutely nuke you. Very good. Very, very. Quite so good. Got him. I don't know why our opponent thinks that we got. Oh, because our opponent ran out of mana. Oh. Alright, this is going to be possibly our last game. Dive Zen says, anyone chat willing to duel and help me practice Arena sometimes? You know, Dive Zen, if you go to our Discord, discord.gg/day9tv, there's a Magic the Gathering channel. It's pretty active. Hop in there, chat a little bit, meet a pal, meet a buddy. I keep I have presence removal. Ooh. Love to see that Lyra. I think this art is just beautiful. Like this rainbow stained glass look of armor. Last game, are you done for tonight? Yeah, I got a flight to catch. I'm concerned about flying due to all the, stuff this morning that was like, well, it's hell of stuff in the past weeks that have been like, TSA agents not. We're dead. This Mortify is gonna have to come in big. Yeah, I mean, I just really want to make sure that, I get there early enough in case the airport's understaffed. I want to make sure. Okay, so... So on my turn, I want to exile this Chemist's Insight. Get that card draw out of there. This Mortify might be our saving grace in this matchup. Because, I mean, this is very clearly a fog deck. Not a fog deck, a Midwest. A Midwest, goddamn Twisted. I read your word Midwest and I was like... Immediately I just said the word. How dumb. Yeah, this is very clearly a Nexus of Fate deck. White for board sweepers. Which I don't think are entirely necessary, but... sensible board. Where am I going? Los Angeles. Oh, it's a ferry.
This isn't a fight. You need to slow down.
Alright. Hello. Oh, I should have shocked this in. I want to be able to target a Chemist's Insight. That's so many revitalizes, man. I could have used the Consecrate exile target card from a graveyard to deal with the Chemist's Insight. We need to move quickly. I mean, this is just beautiful, man. I mean, this is so sick. Good lord. I have not looked at this art very well. It's Nexus of Fate, bum 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 bum, Nexus of Fate, well, shit.
Hurry!
Well, let's use all that land. So, put a stop there. Untaps first. Nexus of Fates. Untaps 2. I'm telling you, I really do think that this is degenerate. Now search for his Conta flips.
No time for a break.
Giving the opportunity to draw. Because we don't even have to be conservative with mana if we have a Wilderness Reclamation out. Because if we have a Wilderness Reclamation out, we can search for his Conta in order to get a Nexus of Fate. And if we don't get it, when this Wilderness Reclamation untaps everything... So this thing goes off first, so this untaps. So this mana gets tapped, stays on the stack, peeks in, looking for a Nexus of Fate. Didn't get it, no big deal. Teferi's going to untap Azcanta. Going to use that Azcanta again to look for the third time at this end step for another Nexus of Fate. Didn't get it, so now Chemist's Insight to draw some cards. See if there's any potential to get the Nexus of Fate. Let's take a peek. There's the Nexus of Fate. Had it all along. Again, I think that Nexus of Fate is the problem. This does not actually feel... Teferi feels annoying. But, I mean...
We need to move quickly.
You beat Teferi decks all the time. Because, I mean, the ones that I've seen that are, like, truly appalling don't run Teferi. Or any white. Might even be able to stack 3 turns up in a row. Spending all the extra mana. So once again, we've hit a land drop every turn, so this is our turn 6. So let's see if I shift enter. I think I should be able to resolve through everything.
Let's skip to the good part.
Let's skip to the good part. You got it. Yeah, I'm done. Alright. Is when you start roping. I kind of, like, want to let this occur on stream. Because, I mean, I've sort of made my point. But there's a difference between making your point and then sort of showing your point, you know what I mean? Show, don't tell. I mean, maybe the problem is Wilderness Reclamation, and it's not actually Nexus of Fate. This, at the very least, is fascinating. Could be both, says Flameburger. I would much prefer the Nexus of Fate. Let's go ahead and give her Death Touch. Suck on that one, Cameron, Lab Maniac. Ah! She just... Ah! Alright, Askanta's gonna peek the deck. It's a Teferi. Probably because that was the only option. I'm gonna go ahead and Arch a Vraska. Bonk me for 10 at end of turn. Well... Ouch. Shingo says, it's hard to say. I think without Nexus of Fate, Wilderness Reclamation is only annoying, but not a full lockout game ender. Yeah, I mean, them together allows for an unbelievable ease of getting the infinite turn combo off. Pretty disgusting.